Your brain is already programmed to reach your goals automatically, without willpower, without discipline. Stop. Every morning, you're actively training it to fail instead, and you have no idea you're doing it. Right now, successful people are laughing at your vision boards and morning routines. They know something you don't, something that sounds impossible but is backed by suppressed neuroscience that productivity gurus desperately don't want you to understand. Why does trying harder guarantee you'll fail? What system are the top performers hiding while they pretend to hustle? How many years of your life have you already wasted fighting your own brain's natural genius? What if 2 hours of the right mental training could replace 10 hours of forcing yourself? Which discovery about automatic behavior did the self-help industry bury because it would end their business model overnight? You're about to find out why everything you've been taught about reaching goals is backwards, completely, devastatingly backwards. Marcus stared at his goal list at 2:17 a.m. 7 years, same goals, different planners. His fingers traced over lose 30 pounds for maybe the 1,000th time. The gym membership auto-renewed again yesterday. Unused. His business idea folder had 43 documents, all half-finished. That meditation app sent another reminder he ignored. He felt that familiar tightness in his chest. That voice saying tomorrow will be different. But his brain already knew the truth. Tomorrow would be exactly the same. Because Marcus didn't have a motivation problem, he had something much worse. He kept asking himself why he could obsess about a video game for 10 hours straight but couldn't focus on his business for 10 minutes. Why did his brain automatically remember every sports stat but forgot his most important goals existed? There was a pattern here. A pattern that would change everything once he discovered it. But first, he had to unlearn every lie about goal achievement he'd been sold. Most people never realize their brain has two operating systems, two completely different ways of creating behavior, and you've been using the wrong one your entire life. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation. You don't write it on your vision board. You don't need accountability partners. Your brain just does it, automatically, even when you're exhausted, even when you don't want to. Now think about your biggest goal. Notice the difference? One happens without thinking. The other requires constant force. One is automatic. The other is war. But wait, your brain doesn't actually care which behaviors become automatic. The only difference between brushing your teeth and building your business is which neural pathway you activated. There's a specific sequence, a mental training protocol, that can make any behavior as automatic as breathing. You're about to discover why 92% of goals fail. It has nothing to do with discipline, nothing to do with wanting it enough, everything to do with which part of your brain you're accidentally training. But before I reveal who discovered this and why it was buried, you need to understand something that will shock you. This comes from Dr. Philippa Lally, a behavioral scientist at University College London who accidentally discovered something that should have revolutionized psychology. But it didn't, because her findings would have destroyed a $40 billion self-help industry overnight. She was studying habit formation when she noticed something impossible. Her subjects were achieving massive goals without trying, without willpower, without any of the traditional success strategies. They were literally rewiring their basal ganglia, the part of your brain that runs automatic programs, to execute complex goal behaviors without conscious thought, like a mental autopilot for success. But here's where it gets dark. When she published her findings, the productivity industry buried them. Why? Because if people knew they could train their brain to automatically achieve goals in 66 days, who would buy another course? Another planner? Another accountability program? Dr. Lally called it behavioral automaticity. But what she really discovered was how to hack your brain's operating system. How to move any behavior from your conscious mind, where it requires effort, to your unconscious mind, where it happens automatically. Your brain is basically a robot. I know that sounds weird, but stay with me. Every morning, your basal ganglia, this ancient part of your brain, runs about 40% of your behaviors on complete autopilot. No thinking required. It's running programs like a computer, brush teeth, make coffee, check phone, scroll social media. But here's what nobody expected. Your basal ganglia doesn't distinguish between good and bad behaviors. It doesn't care if you're automatically checking Instagram or automatically doing push-ups. It just runs whatever program has been installed through repetition. Now here's the twist that changes everything. You've been trying to use your prefrontal cortex, your conscious thinking brain, to force yourself toward your goals. But your prefrontal cortex gets tired. It runs out of juice. That's why willpower fails every single time. But your basal ganglia, it never gets tired, never needs motivation, never requires discipline. It just executes, automatically, forever. Dr. Lally discovered you can deliberately install any behavior into your basal ganglia using a specific neural encoding sequence. Not through force, not through motivation, but through what she called cognitive load reduction patterns. Think about this. Right now, checking your phone is automatic. You don't think about it. Your hand just reaches for it. Your brain just does it. That's your basal ganglia running a program. What if building your business was that automatic? What if working out happened that naturally? What if your brain just did it without you having to think, without you having to try? I used to think successful people were more disciplined. I was completely wrong. They're not more disciplined. They've just installed different programs. They've trained their basal ganglia to automatically execute success behaviors while you're still trying to force yourself with willpower that's designed to fail. But wait until you hear what this actually costs you. Let me show you something terrifying. Every morning you wake up, your basal ganglia is already programmed, already running. And if you don't know how to reprogram it, you'll repeat the same day for the next 40 years. Same procrastination patterns, same avoidance behaviors, same self-sabotage. Not because you're weak, because your automatic brain is running the wrong software. Calculate this with me. If you waste just 2 hours a day fighting yourself, trying to force behaviors that should be automatic, that's 730 hours a year. That's 30 full days. Gone. Fighting a war you're designed to lose. Over your lifetime, you'll waste 6 entire years just battling your own brain. 6 years you could have been automatically successful. 6 years your goals could have been achieving themselves. But it's worse than time. Every day you don't know this. You're actually strengthening the wrong neural pathways. You're making your current patterns more automatic, more permanent. Every day of forcing yourself is making future change harder. You have the right to reject what isn't working. You have the right to stop exhausting yourself. While everyone else is burning out trying to force success, you're about to learn how to make success inevitable. Because once you understand how to train your basal ganglia, you don't need motivation. You don't need discipline. You need 66 days and the right sequence. That's it. If this is hitting different than every other productivity video you've watched, drop a comment with just the word finally, because you're about to discover the exact system that changes everything. Here's exactly how behavioral automaticity works. And I'm warning you, this will sound too simple. Your conscious mind will resist. But remember, you're not programming your conscious mind. Layer 1. The trigger engineering. Your basal ganglia needs a specific cue to run a program. Not motivation. Not desire. Just a cue, like an on switch. Dr. Lally found that successful automatic behaviors always start with environmental inevitability. You engineer your environment so the cue happens without thinking. Phone charges across the room, workout clothes beside your bed, business laptop opens to your project. The behavior starts before your conscious mind can protest. But here's what nobody tells you. The cue must be binary, yes or no, not work on business, but open laptop to specific document. Your basal ganglia doesn't process vague, it processes specific. Layer 2 is where everyone fails. The micro-commitment protocol. They try to install workout for an hour into their automatic brain. Impossible. Your basal ganglia rejects complex behaviors initially. Instead, you install put on workout shoes. That's it, just the shoes. Your unconscious brain accepts this. No resistance. It's too small to trigger your defense mechanisms. But here's the genius. Once the shoes are on, your brain automatically continues. Not through force, through momentum. The same system that makes you check Instagram for hours works for your goals. If you've ever started something tiny and ended up doing way more, you've experienced this. You were already using behavioral automaticity. You just didn't know how to control it. But the third layer is what locks it in permanently. Layer 3. The reward encoding sequence. Your basal ganglia only keeps programs that trigger dopamine, but not the dopamine you think. Not big achievements, not major milestones, microdopamine, immediate, specific. Dr. Lally discovered you can hack this with completion acknowledgement. After your micro commitment, you deliberately notice you did it. Just notice. Your brain releases dopamine. The program strengthens. 73% of people who used this protocol reported their goals became unconsciously automatic within 66 days. They stopped needing to try. Their brain just executed, like brushing teeth. Layer 4. The consistency encoding. Here's where it gets counterintuitive. Missing a day doesn't matter. Your basal ganglia doesn't reset. Dr. Lally proved this. But what matters is never missing twice. One miss, your automatic program pauses. Two misses, it starts deleting. Your brain thinks the program is no longer needed. This is why people fail after vacation. They miss twice. The program deletes. They're back to forcing. But if you know this, you can protect your programming. Miss Monday, execute Tuesday. Your automaticity remains intact. Your goal stays inevitable. Now let me show you exactly what happens when you implement this. Week 1 through 2. You engineer your triggers. It feels stupid, too simple. Your conscious mind protests, saying this won't work. Ignore it. You're not programming your conscious mind. You're programming your robot brain. Week 3 through 4. The behavior starts happening without force. You notice you're doing it before thinking about it. This is your basal ganglia accepting the program. You feel confused. Why was this so hard before? Week 5 through 8. Automaticity builds. You forget you're even doing it, like you forget brushing your teeth. It just happens. No celebration, no resistance, just execution. Week 9 through 10. You realize something profound. You haven't thought about motivation in weeks. You haven't needed willpower. Your goal is just happening. Every day, automatically. By day 66, full automaticity. The behavior is now as natural as breathing. You can't not do it. Your brain just executes. Forever. Remember Marcus from earlier? He installed put on running shoes after coffee, nothing else. His brain took over from there. Lost 34 pounds, never once used willpower. His basal ganglia did it for him. Jennifer was different. She programmed open business document as her morning trigger. Just open it. That's it. Within 66 days, she was working 2 hours every morning without thinking. Her business revenue tripled, not through hustle, through automaticity. You're not becoming productive. You're revealing your brain's natural genius. You're not building discipline. You're installing programs. You're not forcing success. You're making it automatic. Think about what you could achieve if your biggest goals happened as naturally as checking your phone. If success was your default. If achievement was automatic. That's not a fantasy. That's behavioral automaticity. That's your brain's actual design. You just needed the right code to unlock it. But here's what most people do wrong, even when they know this. Here's my challenge. Tomorrow morning, pick one goal. Just one. Not the whole thing. Just the first 30 seconds of it. The micro commitment. The thing so small your brain can't resist. Engineer one trigger. Make it inevitable. Make it specific. Make it happen before your conscious mind wakes up. Do this for 66 days. Not perfectly, just consistently. Never miss twice. In 66 days, you'll have proof. Proof that everything you believed about success was backwards. Proof that you don't need more motivation. Proof that your brain is already designed for automatic achievement. If you're ready to stop fighting yourself and join thousands who are making their goals automatic, subscribe right now. Because this channel isn't about productivity tips. It's about exposing the truth about human performance that nobody wants you to know. We're building a movement of people who achieve more by forcing less, who succeed through psychology, not struggle, who understand that the secret to reaching any goal is making it as automatic as breathing. Hit the notification bell because next time I'm revealing the inverse effort principle. Why the less you try, the more you achieve, and the specific brain state that makes impossible goals inevitable. You'll discover why Olympic athletes perform better when they stop caring, and how you can trigger this same state on command. You're already different just knowing this exists. Your brain is already beginning to reprogram. The automation has already started. The only question is, will you direct it? Or will you let another year pass running the same broken programs? You know what to do. Your basal ganglia is waiting for its new instructions. Welcome to behavioral automaticity. Welcome to inevitable success.